Gavin. Meredith Gavin is a single mother to her 10-year-old son, Astorino, who was entering 5th grade. He was diagnosed with autism at 22 months, and since that time, she has advocated for the best public education possible at the local level. She's an active volunteer within the local school district, a valued member of a district operations study, district strategic planning committee, and a participant in a climate study of the district on special education services, response to intervention and academic intervention service. Last year, she stepped up her game and became an outspoken critic of the Regents Reform Agenda and its impact on special education students across the state. Meredith has been an invited speaker by a bipartisan panel of legislative officials and has been featured on Diane Ravitch's blog in their post titled, "My Son is Not a Test Score." Let me introduce Meredith Gavin.
Hello, thank you for this opportunity. I'm from a small town called Winesdale, and I recognize that my district is in a very small bubble and is not experiencing a lot of the problems that your district is, and I don't care, it doesn't stop me. I'm here because I believe that school is a child's second family, wholeheartedly, and especially as a single mother, that's the case for my scenario. I support public education wholeheartedly. I support teachers. I work very closely with them. I'm a parent. I don't work in education. I'm proud to say that the district that I live in, the board passed a resolution against high-stakes testing, and my son did not take the test this year. I'm here to speak about the engagement with parents and school, because we all know that a child is successful at the end of the day when both the teacher and the parent work together. And with these new standards, which are linked to a new curriculum, there's a disconnect there's no connection being met because we learned a different way. And when our children come home at the end of the day, we are the ones that have to assist them with this new homework. And there's already a struggle to get parents involved more. Now you add on a layer of homework that they don't understand coming home at the end of the night, and where does that leave everybody? Very sad and very frustrated. And with a special education student, it's 2 times as more difficult to do homework, and you get less. Recently, it's been released that IEPs are going to now be based on standards. And several months ago, I said that cannot happen. And that's what's happening. We are now having a standards-based IEP for an individualized education plan. I'm really not sure how that's going to happen. Education is individualized. It should be for everybody. We have a legal document for our children that protects that, but the tests are standardized. How is that fair? You know, our children are given the opportunity to sit maybe at a different table in the same room, to complete less amount of work with accommodations, work twice as hard to do half the work, and yet a test is given to them that's above their level, and they must complete it all in double the amount of time. How is that fair to special ed children? How is that a true assessment for them? How is that fair for the special education teachers that are being evaluated on this child taking a test for their APPR? I don't understand that. You are going to lose the most precious teachers who have chosen to take a path to help students who are going to struggle their entire life. When will the majority of the Department of Education and the elected officials listen to us about this? When? When is that going to happen? Because it needs to happen quickly. Let's take a breath. Okay. What's happening is kind of what Jenna touched on, is that, you know, our children are allowed access to the same and when I say our children, I'm speaking specifically special ed children. They're allowed access to the same education as general education children. Like, hands down, that's the way it should be. But now there's being mandates put in place. Mandates that don't allow leeway for a parent and a teacher to make the best decision possible so the child is successful at the end of the day. Not so their test scores are better. That needs to stop. This is about a child going to bed at night, feeling good, and waking up the next morning and wanting to go to school. That's not what's happening here. My other issue for special education is high school graduation. There have been recent changes where the local diploma is not an option, and you either get a Regents diploma or you receive a certificate that automatically identifies them as a student with a disability. Where are multiple high school paths? Where did this go? Why is that not an option? You set the bar really high, and then you have a certificate. Where's the middle? Not everybody can reach the Regents exam, but people deserve a high school diploma if they've worked hard, especially the special education kids, because they do double duty when it comes to achieving goals.
2 minutes.
The other thing I want to mention is that I support teachers and I support public schools that are held publicly accountable. Parents don't have a union. Our children don't have a union. We don't have money to lobby. The lobbying we do is here in small groups, and we yell at anybody who's going to listen. We need to remember that this is about the children. Our children are not protected from these high-stakes tests, and somebody needs to make that happen. Somebody needs to protect our children from the tests at the end of the day. Refusal isn't an option for some districts. I'm fortunate enough it was. Children are why we're all here. This isn't about teachers for me. This is about my children, or my child, and all the special ed children in New York State having a true assessment done to them. Not just throwing a standardized test in front of them and hoping for the best. Because if you really want true data, if you really want to see how the special ed teacher has grown this child, that is not the answer, and it is up to the experienced educators to figure out what the answer is, and not a top-down policy.